Hello Hearthstone fans and welcome to the Skype One Nation of Gamers Hearthstone Academy Daily Recap for December 16th. I'm Mastergation, joined by Racy, and we're here on behalf of Gamer Sensei, and we'll be bringing you a daily summary of questions and discussion topics from the Hearthstone Academy Skype group. If you're looking for other passionate players to chat with about Hearthstone, you can join the group by simply adding Gaming with Skype on your Skype account. Don't forget to check out the tournament between the 19th and the 21st, where Kalento, Zalay, Strifecrow, and Frozen are teaming up with the students that they coached during the event. You can check out skype.onog.gg for more details. Our first topic today is regarding viable Paladin decks. People have been asking if there are any, because Paladin seems to be kind of non-existent. But I still think that anything Paladin could be viable in this metagame. What do you think, Racy?
Yeah, anything Paladin is probably the most viable Paladin archetype right now. Paladin decks in the ladder right now are scarce in general. You usually are not going to be expecting to face a Paladin deck when you queue up on the ladder. But there's a slight resurgence of anything Paladin nowadays. We see streamers like Neville's, AP Drop, and just other people just trying out this anything deck. It plays Finja. It's very similar to how it was in the previous format. Has a very good matchup against control decks like Reno Lock and stuff. It still plays Ivory Knight, so you can still get that insane third anyfin combo that just will probably win the game on the spot if you ever get that against control. And its early game is still not even bad. Like, you can go turn 2 Doomsayer, so you can fend off the aggression. You tech in cards like Swamp Ooze as well, so you can have a shot against the pirate decks, and it's still pretty solid, I would say. Like, people have been doing well with it. I think it's more of a tournament deck than a ladder deck, because tournaments, you're kind of geared towards like a specific strategy. Like, if you want to beat, say, like Reno Lock, then you can play anything. It's actually not a bad deck, and there are people playing it in tournaments right now. And Finja gives you an added buff from the Mean Streets of Gaddison. I would say Finja's actually very strong in the deck. It allows you to just snowball really hard against mid-range decks like Druid. If you get a Finja attack off and it gets triggered, it's actually quite insane. Like, you can just snowball off of that. You can win the game probably off of your first anyfin on turn 10 instead of having to wait for the whole combo if you're able to get a Finja off early. So it just adds an unexpected element to the deck that allows you to win before you kind of were able to before. Like, it's not as slow as it was before.
Yeah. My first thought when I saw Finja was that it wasn't going to be that strong, but it's actually... it's quite poorly statted, right? But it's got stealth, so your opponent can't necessarily deal with it right away. And not only does it like summon a Murloc, so it pulls a Murloc straight from your deck, which is a huge... Pulls two Murloc straight from your deck, which is pretty huge, because if you pull out like War Leader and the Bluegill Warrior, like, you actually get to charge a 4/2 immediately. And not only that, but so they pull it from your deck, so you don't actually have to commit mana to play it on future turns. It's not just like drawing the card. Drawing the card is significantly worse, because you have to invest mana on future turns to play it. Getting it straight from your deck, like turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, and then you already have 2 Murlocs just died to get your anything combo off. And yeah, that's insane. I didn't realize that Finja would be that strong. Did you?
No, honestly, I really didn't expect much of Finja. I just thought it was like, oh, maybe people will play it in anyfin Paladin and it will just kind of be bad. But it's actually really strong. The only downside to Finja is that it can be summoned later in the game when you're trying to anyfin, and that can actually be detrimental to your combo. Like, say you go second anyfin and you summon 2 Finjas or something like that. That can actually be really bad for you, but that's kind of rare. And nowadays, there's less like Control Warrior and stuff, so you don't really need that full combo. Like, maybe just having another Murloc for your first anyfin is enough to like just gain board control, and you can just win through like them not having AoE. Like, generally the decks that you're facing now aren't really going to clear your whole board anyways. And against Reno, you don't need that full combo because they're not really going to go above 30 health ever, so it's not really necessary. So I think it's actually really well positioned for the metagame for that specific deck.
Cool. Alright, I'll definitely keep that in mind and give it a try. Our second topic today is regarding how to build and refine original decks. So, I mean, most of the meta decks are pretty apparent, and they can be pretty boring to some people. Some people really like to be innovative and originate their own decks, and that's fine. And they were wondering, like, what's the best process for doing so? Now, what's your take on this, Ray?
I would say the place to start, where you get your foundation, is just have an idea, right? Like, if you're gonna build an original deck, you have to have a strong idea, like a solid concept, right? So, for I don't know, I'm gonna use Rage's deck as an example, since I was kind of there for when he was thinking about it and stuff like that. Like, I saw his thought process through it and the evolution of the deck. It was actually kind of a cool experience to witness. Basically, you have a concept of, you're gonna get your Arcane Giants to be free. You're gonna whirlwind the board. You're gonna Blood Warriors, get a bunch of free Arcane Giants, and you're just gonna go in with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have Wild Pyromancer to kind of cycle quickly and clear their board at the same time. So that's kind of the idea, right? Like, the concept is solid, right? You have a clear win condition. I think that's where you have to start. You have to start with, what is the point of the deck and what is the win condition, and then kind of build off that.
Yeah.
And then you have to look at, all right, what metagame am I trying to build this in? Right now, I would say we have a really aggressive metagame. So you're gonna have to think of, okay, is this idea too slow? And if it is there anything I can do to compensate that? Like, can I add Doomsayers to my deck, or can I add like Wild Pyromancer plus like the spell package like Rage did for that deck, which ended up working out really well because Wild Pyro plus Commanding Show was insane against the aggressive decks at the time. So you just kind of have to think of, is it the right meta for the idea, and what's the win condition, and just stuff like that. What do you think, Astro?
Well, yeah, I know you bring up a really solid point there. Yeah, the first step is definitely just the win condition, and there could be one, there could be two, and then the rest of it again is building around it. So you want to basically have a plan for reaching the win condition, not only effectively but efficiently as well. So you can have the idea, build around it, and then next step is actually to test it. You need to go on the ladder, and you need to play the deck a lot. I mean, building and refining a new idea takes a lot of work. It takes a lot more work than a lot of people realize. And you're gonna want to figure out which cards are not working well, which cards are working the best, keep them in. The cards that aren't working out that well, you need to figure out if there are better cards in that slot, and then from there you go with the refinement process. You track your win rates. If you see your win rates going up, you're doing a good job, and then as soon as you have like the perfect build, then you can be happy.
Yeah, I think that's actually really important, is tracking your matchups. Like, say you have I'm going to use this as an extreme example. Like, say you have a 0% win rate against Pirate Warrior. I mean, that's kind of a sign that you want to tech for Pirate Warrior, especially if you're playing against it a lot, right? So, like, you would add things like Ooze, maybe even a Harrison, something like that. You just kind of have to look at what you're losing to and try to refine your deck towards that, if it's a popular deck.
All right. Yeah, so hopefully you take that advice and experiment with your own original decks. Thanks to everyone in the Hearthstone Academy Skype group who participated, and if you love Hearthstone, we'd love to have you join the conversation. Simply add Gaming with Skype on Skype and you'll be added to the Hearthstone Academy Skype group. Get in there and participate, and your discussion topics may be selected for tomorrow's episode. And if you're interested in joining the best esports coaching platform in the world, where you can get coached by myself, Ray C, and a number of other amazing sensei, make sure you sign up for Gamer Sensei using the promo code ONENATION for 25% off. That's ONENATION, all caps, all letters, no space. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.